Hey everybody, how you doing out there? My name is Lafayette Beck. A lot of people know me as Favorite Deacon. And I'm here today just to share a story with you because I'm trying my best, man, to help many people as I can. Many people as I can while I can. Amen. So, uh, I want to tell you a little bit about my history. I'm a former drug user, and I've used many drugs. It's not too many that I haven't used. And I started using when I was 15 years old. And I didn't start using because of my mom and my daddy were alcoholics or drug addicts, because that's not true. My daddy had an issue, but my mama did not. And I've never had an alcohol issue. But when I was 15, I had already tried all the pills and marijuana and things of that nature. I had tried it already. And I wanted to be like other people. A lot of times, man, that's how come our life changes, because not all the time, but sometimes we want to be like other people. And that's what happened to me. I saw the older guys nodding, you know, and all that stuff that they did. And to me, it looked very interesting. Me and one of my friends that hung together. We hang together. We hung together every day. So it got to the point that we said, let's man, come on, man, let's give it, at least let's try it. We ain't got to keep doing it. Let's try it. And we did. And when we tried it, man, we didn't stop until I was 40 years old. That's when I stopped. I went from there. I was graduating from grade school to high school, and by the time it was summer was over and I got to high school, it was a mess, man. It was a mess. I was already strung out on drugs. I was already. So all I knew was continue doing it. You know, it wouldn't let us go to school, man. It wouldn't let us do too much of nothing, because we were hooked. What you gonna do, man, when you hooked on drugs? There's nothing else you can do. You gonna do drugs. And that's where we were. We went to school in the mornings, pretended to go to school in the mornings, high school, and we would cut class and go and do whatever it is we had to do, man. We were still in hubcaps. Back then, hubcaps were $20 for a set. So, you know, we got a couple sets, man. We had our fix for the day. Drugs, heroin pills back then were $4 a pill, man. So we were set for a day, at least. And then I graduated from that to robberies. 1970 or 71. I got arrested for a robbery in U City, and oh man, that started a life that I had been warned about. I had a friend tell me that you keep using dope, you're going to either go to jail or you're going to die, man. Those two choices you're going to have. You need to decide what you want to do, bro. And I paid it no mind, because everybody was going to jail. I knew sooner or later I was going to. Everybody. You know, back then, man, I was 17 years old, man. Didn't bother me, didn't faze me that I might have a chance to go to jail. I challenged it. Wasn't that crazy? So we did a robbery. U City came over my mama's house, got me, locked me up. I was locked up for 30 days. Mama and Daddy didn't get me out until Christmas Eve. I think I was locked up the day after Thanksgiving. and got out made mine Christmas Eve. You know, they were teaching me a lesson. I learned the lesson, but it didn't mean nothing at that time because I was stubborn. And I put my friends over anybody else. Hello, somebody. So I came out. I kept telling my mom and daddy that I was not guilty. I did not do this, which I had done it, but I'm trying to not let my parents know, man, I was doing that stuff, which I think they knew. They knew. They got me a lawyer. I pleaded not guilty, and I went to trial. This is everything I'm telling you guys is the truth. I went to trial. I think it lasted 2 days. The second day, they gave it to the jury. The jury was back in 2 hours. 2 hours. I hadn't had a chance to go outside and have a smoke yet. They were calling us back in, and the jury found me not guilty. They brought back not guilty. And I had another chance, and I didn't take advantage and go to school or anything. I came back out and I started back shooting dope, doing the same thing I had been doing, stealing, robbing, doing the same thing, selling dope. So at 18, all my buddies was gone. They had went off into the military. So I did the same thing. And when I didn't like the military because I couldn't get high. Every chance I got, man, I went somewhere and found some drugs and used it. We used to drive home on the weekend, sometimes on Friday night, get some drugs and come back before the next morning. Cause St. Louis, we were in Fort Leonard Wood, and it was 2 hours from St. Louis, 2.5, and back then speed limit was 70, 75 or something. We drove, man, and we were back. So I'm kind of gonna push a little bit. Got put out the army because the general said that he didn't trust me in a foxhole with one of his soldiers because I'd probably be high and get both of us killed. And I thought about that. So I got out under honorable discharge. I came back to St. Louis doing the same thing over and over and over. I did, man. I kept using dope. I kept shooting dope, man. I was mean and angry, man. I was stealing and robbing. I was taking people, man, money, man. Didn't nobody like me. I didn't like nobody. And it just got bad, man. It got bad. Then I had got me a job. I was always blessed to be able to get a job. And I got a job at the VA hospital here in St. Louis. And man, I liked the job. I was doing pretty good, but I was still using drugs, y'all. How many of you know, man, you can't work when you're using drugs? You can't do it. It ain't gonna work for you. So I did still doing crime, man. And the police came to the VA hospital and locked me up. And I was locked up for the next 7 years, man. I was locked up for 7 years, man. I'm sorry, that was one of the worst times of my life, man. Even though I was able to jail, I had been in so much, I was jailing. That wasn't no issue, man. You know, I just kept missing my family. My daddy was getting older, and I'm in jail, man. The bad part about that, my mama had Alzheimer's when she died, and this is how she remembered me. She remembered me. Somebody, I think it was my sister, said, "Where's Laffy, mama?" And mama responded, "He always in jail. That boy stay in jail." And I was standing right there. But that's where her memory was of me. Always in jail. So, At the same time, I went to jail. I had just had a son, and I was my son was about 4 or 5 when I left and went to penitentiary, and I didn't see my son again until I got clean. I went 20 years almost. I did go 20 years before I saw my son again because of my lifestyle. Yeah. So I got out the penitentiary. I went back to work for the VA. They hired me back. Same thing happened again, but the police didn't come get me this time. I got caught in a dope house, and I got violated, sent back to the penitentiary for a year. It was the hardest bit I ever did, man. It was hard on me. And when I got out, this time, me and my buddies, man, we were getting high again, doing the same thing. But it came to pass that my two best friends, got clean. Both of them did, but I wasn't ready yet. So I'm still getting high, but I'm getting high by myself, man. And that's a suicide mission because you don't know, man. You shoot dope, man. You don't know what that dope about. And I was afraid that I would OD and nobody would be there to bring me out. That's what got me to thinking. And I went into the VA hospital, man. One time I went to treatment in the VA hospital. And this how I know God was moving for me. I went to the hospital and I told them what was going on. I wanted to go in treatment. And they said they didn't have a bed that day. And it broke my heart because I didn't know where I was going. I couldn't go back to my mom's house. Didn't want to sleep on the street. I was just in bad shape, man. And I left the 3rd floor and I dropped my head and I was trying to figure the day out. This is the truth, man. My name came across the loudspeaker in the hospital to come back to the 3rd floor. I had no idea. Thought I had left something. And when I went back to the 3rd floor, they asked me. First, they told me that they had a bed just came open. Did I want it? And I jumped at it, man. I said, yeah, I want it. And he said, have a seat. We get in a cab. The cab gonna take you to Jefferson Barracks, which is miles away, man. I was like, a cab? Who gonna pay for the cab? I can't. I know it's not me. But the VA was taking care of it. And man, I tell you what, when I got to the hospital, I was going through detox. I was hurting. I was sick. The whole 9 yards. And I just went to the counter and told the nurse that I wanted to take methadone for a few days so I wouldn't feel like this. Methadone not bad, people. It's not bad if you're going to use it right. Or either Suboxone. It's not bad if you use it right. It'll help you to get over drugs. So I used the methadone for 4 days. But whenever it was over with, my detox days were gone. I felt a lot better, man. I could sleep. I could sit around, do classes, no more pain. And that night, man, when I finally got over, I got on my knees and I asked God to deliver me. I said, God, if you're real, and I know you're real because my mama said it, and I've seen things in her life. I said, if you're real, take it away and I serve you. And I meant that to my heart. Didn't know what serving him meant. But he took care of me. He took me through the program for 21 days. Didn't have nowhere to go. After 21 days, I was thinking I didn't want to go back in my mama's neighborhood. That's where it all started. So I went to a homeless shelter called Sunshine Mission. And that was the start of something big, man. While in this program, I learned and studied the Bible. I learned about God. And then we were going to a church as a group, the whole program, to West End Mount Carmel Baptist Church that was pastored by Bishop George White. He taught me, man. He had ministers under him, man, that was in recovery. I watched them. They pulled me. They got me through, man. Oh man, they did great things for me, man. They became mentors and sponsors. And I got hired at that same place, Sunshine Mission. And I worked there for the next 10 years. I constantly was promoted. I got promoted finally to a director of the men's program, which was 3 programs. I got my GED in the penitentiary, y'all. And I was over, hear me, the counselors that came in from Covenant Seminary. I was over them. They had to answer to me, man. And I was there for 11 years. I supervised a homeless shelter. I supervised a 15-man treatment program and a graduate program. I also was over the shelter, homeless shelter. I think I said that, 40 beds. We had an alumni association that I was also supervisor of. Man, my life just exploded, man. God made me a deacon. I've been a deacon now for 22 years, man. I got married when people said me and my wife wasn't going to be successful in our marriage because we both were in recovery. And they didn't give us a year. People didn't give me 45 years. I was going to die. I was going to die at 30. I'm 66, man. I ain't dead yet. Me and my wife, God blessed us, man. We've been in our house ever since we got married. And when we got married, I was the only one working at this mission. I wasn't making a lot of money, but we went in under the VA loan, and we've been in our house since 1998, and it's 2019. 2 daughters, man. They're grown now, and a son. My son came back into my life, man. Had a ball with him. He knew his sisters. He met his stepmom. My God, we had a couple years with him, but unfortunately he died in 2009 from a massive heart attack. But God gave me and my family time to rekindle with my son. Yes, he did. So, as I said, I was deacon. I'm a deacon now. I've been a deacon for 22 years. I taught classes in Bible school. I taught 12 steps. I taught family engagement. I went to different places being a speaker for God. I've done all of that, man. And today, you know, I just want to let you guys in on something, man. Don't let people tell you what you can't do. Man, give your life to Christ. Once you give your life to Christ and be faithful, man, and try it, I'm telling you, man, God will bless your shoes off. Bless your shoes off, man. When he said he'll give you the desires of your heart, he would. The things that I'm doing, I didn't know from what God said to do. I didn't.